Why do managers at dealerships prefer shipping with auto hauler exchange? Is it because many brokers all say the same thing just to get your business? Reliable and direct communication with carriers is what dealers want. So join Tony Boulse of Ed Martin Toyota and Terry Lange at the Suburban Collection to learn why you should be shipping with AHX. And please say hello, make new friends, grow your network, and learn from the best on ATI Auto Business. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business, automotive ecosystem, where everyone learns more about the automotive industry. Let's get started with top industry news and headlines that include Tesla Watch Key and new software updates. Super Dispatch has a new CEO, and Infiniti plans to shack up with Nissan. At the corridor, we got Dana Randazzo, COO of Auto Hauler Exchange, and then we're going to bring in Frank Zombo, Terry Lange, Tony Boulse. This is show 376 in a row on a Tuesday night. Hello, YouTube. Hello, LinkedIn. Please do say hello in the live chat. And we're going to be talking about, we're leaning into NADA show. This is what everybody's going to be talking about. NADA show. It's January 23rd through 26th in New Orleans, and it is going to be a packed expo hall. So thank you, Auto Hauler Exchange, for sponsoring this coffee break. We are going to continue our conversation with Auto Hauler Exchange tonight. Dana Randazzo, COO, Auto Hauler Exchange, Frank Zombo, Enterprise Customer Sales Director, and some of their clients, Terry Lange, Sales Manager at Suburban Collection, and Tony Boulse, Manager Ed Martin, Toyota Indianapolis, are with us tonight as we get to know more of our ecosystem, new, used, dealer auction, logistics, remarketing, and more on the ecosystem's neutral zone, ATI Auto Business. My name is Jay, and welcome to Automotive Ecosystem, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Last week we had Plateau digital load sharing. If you want your carriers to choose the mobile app and use that, well, you want to watch the Plateau show. We have Industry Logistics on Thursdays at noon. Oh man, we had a special edition last week. I've been hearing so many good things about this show. Please do comment. Send me an email, like, share. This was a big one, the LPR non-compete lawsuit, and looking forward to sharing the information with you. If you don't already know, there are video descriptions, unlike what you've seen before. I mean, I broke it down by page of the complaint. This is a factual, fair use, public information show. Not to share opinion, but just facts. And that's what we did. So here we go. Let's do some news. Thank you so much. It is 4 minutes after. Great. I got a lot of news, so I want to move quickly. Tesla has finally made an app that turns your Apple Watch into a car key. Tesla confirmed that an official Apple Watch app is coming soon as part of the 2024 Tesla Holiday Update. The car maker will officially release a Watch OS version of the Tesla app. It will start arriving as part of the over-the-air update. The app will let users see the current battery charge level, open the car's frunk, and remotely enable the climate control system. Most notable capability, however, will be using it as a phone key. Car keys in your wallet. What could go wrong? A phone key, which lives on smartphones via an application, allows users to lock, unlock, and start the vehicle. In Tesla's car, the phone key communicates via Bluetooth signals and unlocks the doors as soon as a person pulls the door handle. Likewise, when users walk away carrying the paired smartphone, the walk-away door lock system automatically locks the doors. Users have to go through an authentication, and once a device is registered as a trusted phone key, they won't even require internet connectivity to access all the features. The number of authenticated phone keys allowed by a Tesla car is limited. For example, the entry-level Tesla Model 3 only allows up to 3 phone keys simultaneously. Tesla cars also support NFC-based car unlocking, similar to the key card. Tesla is not the first automaker to offer a native app on the Apple Watch. Toyota, Mercedes-Benz, and Hyundai Motor Group vehicles also have watch integrations for various functions. Tesla's also going to get rear cross traffic alerts. Tesla's bringing the traffic alert to all of its vehicles for free, which is good. When in reverse, your vehicle will alert you if it detects a pedestrian or vehicle crossing behind you with an audible warning. It's surprising Tesla has taken so long to add this cross traffic alert. When I read it, I thought, yeah, we already have that. It's a must-have for new car buyers. Tesla Dashcam and Sentry Mode improvements. Tesla uses its exterior cameras as part of a security system called Sentry Mode to record video around the vehicle when unattended. I like it. It records video while driving using its Dashcam feature for review on the vehicle's infotainment screen. I like it. With the software update, Tesla owners can watch their Dashcam and Sentry model video on the Tesla smartphone app and save the clips to edit and share. It's pretty cool. Tesla's updated navigation and charging software. Tesla uses deeply integrated navigation software that's tied to its supercharger network to route drivers to charging stations during road trips or when otherwise needed. With the software update, Tesla owners can now set the battery charge they want to have when arriving at their destination. Some drivers may want to arrive with a mostly full battery for peace of mind. Others may prefer mostly empty battery for fewer charging stops. Tesla is also adding a new map overlay showing precipitation and weather at the final destination. And of course, the Tesla light shows. You can schedule light shows with your Tesla smartphone app. This allows Tesla owners to set a time for a light show that uses vehicle lights flashed in different patterns. Tesla said it would include 2 new light shows in the software update. If you don't already know about the light shows, I actually didn't know. I don't have a Tesla. You should go to YouTube, watch a Tesla light show. There's actually giant Tesla light shows that'll blow your mind. Check it out on YouTube. Tesla is getting aggressive with leasing also. Tesla's pushing aggressively into leasing as its U.S. growth falters and rival EV makers are leveraging federal lease incentive to attract deals of their own models. Leasing is underutilized option of Tesla, but can now use after slashing prices over the last years and offering subsidized financing, including the current offer of 0.9% for 60 months on a Model Y, also offering 3 months of free charging and a free trial of full self-driving software. Leasing is a popular option for battery EV vehicles because there are no restrictions on federal tax credit for lease vehicles. In contrast, EVs purchased by consumers must be made in North America, meet battery sourcing requirements, and price caps to qualify. Buyers must also meet income limits. Pretty interesting there. Location Services acquires SRS. This is big news. Location Services, Indianapolis-based forwarding company, has acquired Strategic Remarketing Solutions, a forwarding and remarketing company. SRS penetration into the regional bank and credit union space complements their business model. Also like-minded in the areas of culture, performance, and customer service, well-positioned to offer clients even greater efficiencies and support backed by an expanded workforce. SRS is a national forwarding company that offers remarketing, recovery, and title solutions to banks, finance companies, and credit unions. The Illinois-based company is led by Jeff Besher, who's also chair of the board at the Automotive Remarketing Alliance. And Location Services provides full-service remarketing management for banks, finance companies, credit unions, including solutions for recovery, skip, LPR, remarketing, titles, impounds, keys, transportation, and legal notices, and it's owned by Delaware Street Capital. Wow, that's a huge acquisition. Super Dispatch names a new CEO. Transportation management platform said that founder Beck Abdullayev has moved into the role of executive chairman of the board of directors, and replacing him as CEO is Matt Bradley. Bradley was most recently the CEO of CloudSnap, following his time as Chief Strategy Officer at Rackspace. Beck founded Super Dispatch in 2013. Before his time with CloudSnap and Rackspace, Matt Bradley started out as an investment banking analyst at Morgan Stanley. We're going to be hearing more about that in the coming days. And Central Dispatch, One Central Platform, has been doing a lot of marketing and information. Lainey Sybil, head of business at Central Dispatch, recently released another video where she was talking about Price Check Plus, and this is interesting, location tracking, I guess, on your dashboard. Wow, that's new. So that's fascinating. More coming out of both of those companies. Jaguar shows future design redirection on Type 00 concept. I don't know if we needed all the strange people, but for a concept car that will never be built, really? Oh, why? Jaguar Type 00 has a lot riding on its broad sculpted shoulders. What are they doing? Jaguar Land Rover officials believe the concept vehicle will temper some of the criticism the company ignited in November when it released a teaser video featuring an array of androgynous models and phrases such as create exuberant, live vivid, delete ordinary brake molds. But it'll never be built. Beyond that, JLR hopes the Type 00, oh, there we go, sparks enthusiasm. I know I'm excited for the brand's new design direction among ultra-luxury buyers who other cars include price range of $150,000 to $200,000, Aston Martins, Bentleys, Maybachs. The new Jags left sticker price is around $130,000, and who knows what it will really look like or who will actually drive it. But these images were leaked, Art Week, and 2 colors. I don't know. I don't even know what's real anymore. Next, EV drivers want to use adapters to charge anywhere. A Charger Contagion could get in their way. What? Charger Contagion? I thought range anxiety was bad enough. Eager EV owners are arriving at public chargers with adapters in hand, ready to use the thousands of Tesla superchargers that otherwise wouldn't work for their cars. Unwittingly, they could be spreading defects across chargers and EVs. It's called Charger Contagion. Stay protected. EV drivers are discovering that faulty adapters used to connect chargers originally incompatible with their vehicle's inlets can create a ripple effect of defects through charging networks, like a virus. Until a connector or an adapter noticeably overheats or a driver complains of charging problems, the issue is almost undetectable. Do you suffer from undetected charging problems? The problem is coming at the forefront as EV owners purchase adapters to plug into thousands of chargers now available on Tesla's once proprietary network. As adapter demand grows, customers are looking to both automakers and third-party retailers for equipment. No adapters have independent safety certifications. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. What? Infiniti lets U.S. retailers co-locate with Nissan in Drive to Survive. What? Infiniti's share of the U.S. luxury segment has plunged more than half since 2019. Steepest decline among premium brands. Hey, I know a marketing company that's got great ideas. Its 197 stores now sell an average of about 24 new vehicles a month, which for some isn't enough to justify the cost of operating a standalone dealership. If you're selling 24 units a month, it's hard to pay the mortgage and salaries. To help make the economics pencil, Infiniti is letting some retailers abandon their glass and steel edifice to co-locate with Nissan stores, combining back office and service operations across both brands, lowers overhead, increases sales per rooftop in a bid to lift profitability. Yeah, the numbers aren't great. They have been slipping and sliding. Wow. Down like a good half. That's big. And Tekion versus CDK Global. Oh no, another lawsuit for Jay. Complaint for damages and injunctive and declaratory relief. It's a big one. I'm going to have to print this out and look through it, but I will be talking about this. Got my pre-NADA show coming up January 7th, so I better get on it. Hey man, what are you talking about? In this edition of What Are You Talking About, today's question is, what is your live event panel discussion? NADA is around the corner. Next year is full of trade shows, speaking opportunities, and many company business professionals already know that if you want to build your business network and potential client leads list, you got to prove that you're also an influencer. And one way to do that is through speaking at an event, through a live session, a workshop, as a panel discussion moderator. As you walk the expo hall at NADA, you're going to see a bevy of podcasters and miles of booths with people speaking. Chairs laid out for a captive audience to listen. Maybe you already have a grandiose plan of your own. But make no mistake, just as we're all open book movie critics, you can be sure there will be strong opinions about the quality of these talks. First and foremost, what is the point? Do you have a meaningful discussion, something truly interesting and new, or is it just going to be another agenda Kool-Aid splash? You can lie to yourself, but not the audience. They know. Is it an educational topic that matters? Or is it really the hype of the spectacle? Are people really cars too? Are you delivering bullet points and takeaways, or simply more swag and branding awareness? Are you making a movie for your cult? Are your guests engaging with the audience? Are people waiting for the opportunity to find something better to do as they scroll through their phones like they're trapped on a plane? How's your audio quality? Is there an echo? Is it a whisper? Maybe nobody cares. Fidelity be damned. These are all things that I think about and do and work on. So before you willy-nilly blow 25 grand on a live presentation because somebody in marketing had a dream that you're famous, call me. Let's talk about it. What is your live event panel discussion? And what are you talking about? We've got a great show for you. It's ATI. It's where everyone learns more about the automotive industry. Somebody told me today that they see it. They get it. This show is special. New, used, dealer, auction, logistics, remarketing, recon, repo, compliance, and tech. We have it all. And I don't ship cars. I move information. This is what I do. Yes, you can get the podcast. Yes, go to the website. Send me a note. Let me know what I can help you with. And share your good news. Exchange is popping, says a client. We're going to be talking more with Auto Hauler Exchange heading into NADA show. Do me a favor, right after this, we're going to be live with Dana Randazzo, COO, Auto Hauler Exchange. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Need a faster way to move vehicles? Draver has you covered. Whether you're an OEM, fleet, rental company, or a dealership, Draver's network of 20,000 contract drivers gets vehicles moved 75% faster. From valet services to delivery, repositioning, and auction moves, Draver handles it all. With insurance coverage and expert support, your logistics are in good hands. Ready to try with the Draver Now app. Testing out Draver services is simple. Download the app today, request a move, and experience how Draver can transform your logistics. Or contact us today to learn about our full suite of services.
Transport Auto Quoter is by far the leading auto quoting software on the market and the only auto quoter with a pro version that comes preset with accurate pricing for anywhere in the U.S. So you don't have to worry about it. The best part is that no change with your current software is needed. Just plug TAQ in and start booking jobs. Carriers can easily plug TAQ into their current websites and start making money right away. I bet you're wondering how we do this instantly and accurately 24/7. Well, constant analytics is the key. Our PriceWatch team is constantly monitoring current market conditions, paying close attention to seasonal and quick-moving industry changes. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and data to maintain good pricing, time that most of us just don't have on a daily basis. So free yourself up. Using TAQ Pro is really a no-brainer. Save time and money, maximizing your leads and optimizing your online investments. You'll finally be able to sleep well at night knowing that TAQ is on the job selling for you 24/7. Never missing a potential job.
All right, we need to brainstorm for this commercial. How do we show our audience that we're the best auto transport platform in the industry?
Oh, we need to show them our dispatch manager. Optimizing routes has never been easier.
We should definitely show them our EDI management screen. Managing contracts is simple with ClearPath's EDI toolkit. Who doesn't want to work with the big manufacturers?
These are all great ideas, but we need to highlight what makes us special.
Sure, we can talk about all our awesome features, but the bottom line is we invest in every single one of our clients, giving them the power to scale up and increase their revenue.
That's perfect.
Auto Hauler Exchange has revolutionized the way vehicle haulers and vehicle shippers collaborate. The Exchange B2B marketplace connects vehicle haulers directly to shippers in a frictionless manner. The Exchange helps vehicle haulers maximize their capacity while eliminating empty miles. The Exchange is the first true B2B marketplace of its kind in the vehicle logistics industry. By connecting carriers and shippers directly, carriers can save time and choose which opportunities fit their needs each day. At the same time, shippers can rest assured that their vehicles are being moved by qualified, vetted carriers who fit their vetting program. The Auto Hauler Exchange has democratized the vehicle logistics industry by eliminating the middlemen and connecting shippers directly to available carriers.
Why does a broker take a percentage of every load you move when clearly you could be working directly with carriers. Go around the broker. Get faster car shipping. Visit AutoHaulerExchange.com. Thank you so much. Please do help me wish a very warm welcome to Dana Randazzo, COO Auto Hauler Exchange. It's fun to introduce you. It's great to have you here.
Great to be
Dana,
back, Jay.
please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Hello. I'm Dana Randazzo. I'm Chief Operating Officer over here at Auto Hauler Exchange. Great to be back on the show again. Like I said, I always love chatting with you. You always make it very friendly, kind of informal, formal type situations. I always feel really comfortable being on here, so I love it. And so I work for Auto Hauler Exchange. So we are a B2B marketplace connecting shippers and carriers directly. A little bit about my background. I've lived in the brokerage space for 10 plus years. So I did a little bit of both. I was on the freight side and in vehicle now for 10 plus years. And so I say I speak both languages when it comes to the transportation space. We talk about freight. It also gives me a really good experience and background of how the other logistics space lives, right? So I've lived and breathed in LTL and full truckload. And then I was introduced to the auto space, which I love. Like this is my life. This is my career now in the auto space. So I love being a part of it. But I saw some things, right? I saw some things that there was like some connective tissues that weren't really connecting. So our CEO, Royce Neubauer, I was introduced to him, loved his concept, loved his idea, and just jumped ship. Just loved the idea. I thought like someone needs to like bring this vision to light, and he was the one to do it. And I'm happy to be a part of it and kind of being a part of steering this ship, I guess you could say, connecting shippers and carriers directly.
You are. You're right next to the helm of the ship. I mean, you're right there. You just made me think of the comments show that we just did.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool. And I think that one of the reasons I was thinking of is that when it comes to carriers and brokers and transportation, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of suspicion, right? And also, and then you've got "Bye Broker" as a slogan. Making waves is a great way to get people ready for something new.
Yeah.
Seems to be that seems to be what's happening at Auto Hauler Exchange.
Yeah. Our people have a problem with us saying that you're a broker. How are you not a broker? Well, hey, listen, we do have a platform. We're providing a form of a service, just like you'd pay with any service. But we're not in the middle there squeezing every bit we can from the shipper, squeezing every bit we can from the carrier. We want them to collaborate, want them to connect. But we are providing a technology platform that, yeah, there's going to be some fees associated with it. But we're trying to really weed out that middleman process, like squeezing from that in between, and just having full transparency, which I think is really, really important to get that message across.
Right. Well, as we know, I watch LinkedIn like a hawk. I think a lot of us do.
Yeah.
And there are a few folks now on LinkedIn that are like really with megaphones shouting about inconsistencies in the marketplace. But I've said to people, well, listen, I think there are some other tech companies that aren't brokers, aren't there? So why is this so hard to understand?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't. Right? Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Or that it's a different version of tech company.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's strange. I mean, and I know after years of talking change, there are still some people that don't understand what I'm talking about. So I guess there always will be.
And we're this software piece. So we talk about removing the middleman in that broker piece, but there's a true technology behind it that we support, that we help the shippers. And so we'll have Terry on here and Tony on here as well, kind of explaining a little bit. Like they have a whole platform connecting them, and having the visuals, having the data, like having additional support that they didn't truly like live and breathe in prior to this, living in that brokerage space.
I was just to say, and we also know sometimes you don't understand what you want till you can't have it. I know there are loads as a dispatcher, back when I dispatched, there were loads that I booked for carriers, and the broker was inserting themselves directly in the middle and wouldn't let the shipper talk to the carrier. And there were times when we could kind of go around the broker and talk directly to the shipper, and they're like, "Oh, I'm glad you called." And I'm thinking, well, that's what? What do you mean you're glad we called? We were told we couldn't. Right. So connecting shippers directly with carriers is a wonderful thing. All right, let's lean into NADA. NADA is around the corner. What does NADA mean to you?
So I'll go with the same theme that everyone says. It's like it's a Super Bowl of conferences, right? So as a woman, wear comfortable shoes. It's always in some kind of massive space. There's multiple different places to walk to. It's very exciting. So this year we are very excited. So we're like 2025 is like, we've been a part of this, Auto Hauler Exchange has been around for a few years now. We're kind of creeping more and more customers, but we want like a huge like splash, a big launch this year. So there's a couple of great things that we're launching, and one of them is for NADA. So we're very excited. We're actually, what we heard a lot too is that our marketing department, they've heard some pieces too, is everyone says like food's hard to come by. It's hard to come by food at NADA. So our brilliant marketing team was like, why don't we just have a food truck right outside the convention center? So and have food for everyone who's being a part of it. So we're outside the convention center on Friday, January 24th. From 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be serving New Orleans style fare goodies, complimentary of Auto Hauler Exchange.
You know what I love about the food truck idea is I think a lot of us, I don't know if we've all done this, but I think most of us, we've been through an expo hall booth, and you see the same swag and you wonder, where could that money have gone? What else could you have done instead of getting, 50 cups nobody wants? A food truck.
How about a sandwich?
Yeah, but a sandwich. Exactly.
One of the greatest places to get a sandwich in the United States, right? I mean, New Orleans prides themselves on food. So why don't you get yourself a pretty souped up, food truck, get out there and serve some of their good fare out there.
Do you know if are you able to like brand Auto Hauler Exchange in that food experience at all? Do you know?
That I do not know. That's above my pay grade, but I'm sure there'll be some signage out there.
I know
sure,
there's a lot of.
I don't think our marketing department is just gonna have a food truck and say complimentary of NADA. That's for sure. So I think.
Right. I know there's a lot of Bye Bye Broker cups, right?
Yeah.
Because you had Bye Bye Broker cups at the coffee.
Yeah. You like that?
I will tell you inside information that the Bye Bye Broker cups, there were some people that were like, what? It was awesome. So it's working.
It was awesome to see brokers holding
they were talking. They were exactly. They're like, I'm gonna drink. I'll drink out of my hands. Yeah, no. The Bye Bye Broker message. Yeah. It's getting attention. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, somebody that'll be eating. I don't know what. So do you know what kind of food the food truck has?
It's New Orleans style food.
New Orleans
so
style.
All of all of their popular goods that you'd have. Like there will be po' boys and a whole list of all that kind of stuff. So
that is awesome. It's so smart. It's such a great idea.
Yeah, I love it.
You mentioned Detroit Auto Show?
Yes.
What's going on there? What's that?
Detroit Auto Show. We're so excited. So this is a big year for the Detroit Auto Show because my whole life growing up, it was always in January for one. And then the COVID happened and they ended up moving it to September. And so for a few years, the Detroit Auto Show was in September. And I feel like it wasn't as, it was different. It was coming out of COVID. So you're kind of, we did go the year before to September, but now it's back in January for people in the Detroit area, people who come into it. So we're very excited about it. And Auto Hauler Exchange, we are the title sponsor of the Charity Preview Night. So we're actually holding an event on January 10th from 5 to 10 p.m. Please come. If you are interested, if you're going to be in the Detroit area, you're going to be, whether you're just attending the auto show, I know that there's a lot of people come in from out of town. They come to it. They have some training. They come to different things too. So at the actual charity preview, we have an event. So email us, go to our website, email us, say you'd like to be a part of it. We have a big event space. We'd love everybody to join. Come on in. So that'll be a part of it at Huntington Place in downtown Detroit.
Okay, now I haven't been to that show. What is that show? Who's there? What are they doing? Are they looking at cars? What's going on?
Yeah, it's opening night. It's the charity preview, so all of it goes to charity. And actually, when you sign up, like there's like multiple different charities that you buy a ticket and it goes to, you pick the charity that you want it to donate to. It's a black tie event, so you go there, and it's opening night. Right, it's like the ribbon cutting ceremony. It's opening night. The auto show is open for a couple weeks after that, and it's the same thing. It's all concept cars, new cars, really cool stuff. Last year, it was really cool. We got to ride in they actually had like a little course, and you can ride in a Ranger. I think it was a Ranger Raptor. Frank's gonna be on; he'll confirm. But so we got to ride in it. They had like a little course that you could ride in there and go around there and check it out and stuff too.
So now, do you feel like, are you doing like B2B business? Are you let's say somebody hasn't been to the show before. In a nutshell, is it just a spectacle, or can you do business? What do you think?
Can we do? I mean, I can do business in 5 minutes with anybody. Yeah, just come out there, come to our event.
Okay.
5 to 10 p.m. Black tie, a preview night on January 10th. Come in there, have a couple cocktails on us, have some snacks, and if you want me to bring my laptop, you want me to do some demos, I'll do some right there if they're interested, right? I mean, all it takes is tell us a little bit about what you do, tell us a little bit about, we'll tell you what we do. Like, there's no secret what we do here too. So like, pass out a couple cards, like get our information, just know our website, go to our website, check us out, email us directly.
Do you have buy broker?
Any time of day. No matter where I am, where I'm at, I'm always doing business.
Will I see Bye Broker at the black tie event?
Absolutely. We're gonna give out pins. No, I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
I'm telling you, I think there'll be some brokers that are like, we gotta do something about these guys, right?
Probably.
It's great. You're causing drama. It's so great, right? Drama. That's awesome. Now, okay, so NADA. Yeah. Bye Broker at NADA. So when I was doing the show, I'm like, I'm gonna say Bye Broker just a bunch, just drive people crazy. At NADA, dealers, right? They get to the point.
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot of dealers who are like, why do I have a broker? Who's carrying the car? Why do I have 10 people that I got to talk to?
What's the benefit, right? What's the benefit of going with a broker? Hey, I mean, listen, I don't. Again, like I don't want to sit here and like trash everybody too and whatever it is too, but the broker is the middleman. The broker is holding everything. The broker has secrets. Like go to the carrier directly, have the best information for both too. I mean, there's good things that brokers are doing. I think that there's some good brokers out there, but you don't really need them, right? There's other technology. We have the software where you can go onto our website. You can have your data. I think this is what's so important, right? Is like dealers. Like we've talked about this in the past too, is like knowing like when to buy, where to buy, and like where's the data? Where's the data, right? And I'm always going to go down to this basic whole point of like why my whole heart and soul is into this company is, yes, you're paying for a product, but at the end of the day, pay the extra $5 or $10 and have that $5 or $10 go to the carrier. Do you know how much a carrier's insurance is? Do you know how many hours they're out there? I mean, we're coming into winter now, right? So the Midwest, right? The North, like we know what's about to happen. And I also can't stress enough, like for our carriers out there, please call us. Don't be out there for long periods of time not finding a car. Please call. Please contact someone and look for some help out there. But give the carrier a couple extra bucks. Give them the fair market value. Because you know what the fair market value is going to do? It's going to get your vehicles to lot quicker. And it's going to have that carrier be able to move those vehicles faster and like go on with his day and his life and add more vehicles to his truck.
I was on hold for 20 minutes earlier, waiting for my travel agent to get on the phone. No, I wasn't. Do you know why? Because I can just go to Expedia. I wanted to buy something for Christmas, and so I was on hold with a purchasing agent. And they made me, no, I wasn't. You know why? I can just go to Amazon. In the world we live in now, and by the way, I'll just say this too. It's terrible, Jay. I talk to a lot more repo companies than I ever did before. And you know what their beef is? Forwarding companies. Forwarding companies in auto recovery do the same thing that brokers do in auto transport. Now, it's not that there isn't a place, but not every transaction needs a purchasing agent and a travel agent and an agent's agent and another fee. No. You don't need that every time.
Yeah.
So
if the shipper uploads their correct information, they give it to the carrier, they see it, they connect, and really they don't even really need to talk in a perfect world. They don't really need to.
That's right. That's right. They
can communicate an issue. Listen, life happens with carriers, so that you're going to communicate an issue. And life happens with the dealerships too. Like, hey, something happens with the car. You hear all the time too. Driver's on site or driver goes to pick up and maybe it's an electric vehicle and they lock the keys inside of it and they can't get the vehicle to start. So life happens, but it could be very limited and everybody could just move on and just get their vehicles and make money at the same time.
All right, so we've been talking and pointing things out. Now we are going to have some guests.
Bring them on.
That can talk about this from their own point of view. Do me a favor. All right, so here's what. Hey, Dana, you're going to stay for the rest of the show, okay? All right, cool. All right, so do me a favor. What I'm going to do is I was going to try to roll this video. I got this cool video of Frank. Here, let's do this video of Frank. Let's go to this. All right, here we go. And then we want to...
The way shippers today are using auto hauler exchanges, they're posting their opportunities direct to a network of vetted carriers that we've procured. They post them directly onto our marketplace, and when these carriers are checking out these loads, they are getting the gate release passes, pickup information, drop-off information, contact phone numbers, all instantly once they check out, with the oversight of the auto hauler exchange technology and staff here behind me, monitoring loads to make sure their ETAs are being met, payments are being processed, and if problems do occur, we are here for you. But ultimately, we have our shippers connecting directly to the carriers, and the carriers seeing those direct rates, and what we find is vehicles are just moving a lot faster at a way better rate.
Okay, so there's Frank. What I didn't do is... Oh, I didn't bring him in already. Oh, Frank isn't in the... Well, all right, hang on. We're live. That's okay. Jump in the live chat, ask your questions, share your thoughts, grow your business. I'm going to send this out. Kelly and Lindy, help me get Frank and Terry ready. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to... Oh, here, let's admit Lindy camera and see what happens here. This could be Terry. Can a private... Oh, Truckify asks, can a private vehicle owner ship their car with auto hauler exchange, or is this for dealerships only? Yeah, it's...
Yep, absolutely.
Is any shipper.
Any shipper, yeah.
POV, dealer, OEM. I saw a comment. Somebody said, what happened to the OEM work?
I think there was a lane that we had with one of our OEMs a couple months back. They're not moving on that lane right now with us.
Well, and those things happen.
Yeah. We have some other OEM lanes, but it's just probably not the lane that...
Okay, and this is where, all right, I'm going to say, I came with double throttle theory. Double throttle theory is you need carriers... I see Terry. You need carriers and you need brokers at the same time. Not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So it's a big, big world with a lot of challenges. All right, hey, Terry, can you see me and hear me okay?
I can see you and hear you. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, we hear you. We can see you. Terry, please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Hello, my name's Terry Lange. I'm a store manager of a local Ford dealership here in Troy, Michigan. I've been in the auto industry almost 10 years now, on the management side for 7. And now my day-to-day operations are acquire cars, price cars, market them, get them online, and turn them as fast as possible to maximize our profit. So that's my strategy every day.
That's right. To the point. A dealer's dealer.
Yep.
Right?
Dealer. Yep.
Why Auto Hauler Exchange?
Well, there was only really a couple ways of doing things before Auto Hauler Exchange. And one of the first things you would do as a dealer when you're trying to move cars is, but let's talk about the auction for a second, because a lot of us are acquiring cars as it's harder to get cars into the stores, is going to the auctions and utilizing their logistics that are available. And there really is just no clear line of communication on when you're going to get the car, when you're going to expect it. And one of the biggest things for us dealers when it's at an auction is you're buying these things online, so you don't get a chance to touch them, feel them, drive them. So you get a 10-day window to get your hands on this car to see if there's something wrong with it, because there's an opportunity for an arbitration window. If God forbid you buy something that's got a bad engine or a bad transmission, you have 10 days. You go outside that 10 days, you own that car, that's your baby. So relying on the auctions was there's like a big pain point there, because you're checking out. You got the auction that's on top of the total price of what's going to cost to get it there, and then good luck when you get it. So I think dealers started to realize, okay, this is not an efficient way of getting cars, and where else do you go? Now you go to a broker. They're constantly sending you mailers or sending you emails. Hey, we can move cars. You're getting these cars, but the prices, you don't really know what your price is going to be at. So you end up spending a little bit more money than what the auction's pricing these things at, just to get, you get a little bit better communication with a dispatch from someone at a broker. And then they start dropping the ball. Man, there's just so many different pain points that we're dealing with. And then here comes Auto Hauler Exchange, and they're like, hey, we're going to go right to direct you to carrier and just connect you. You control your pricing. You get the contacts, and you see this whole thing from start to finish, from when you order the shipping until it gets to your store. And man, right off the gate, it was like instant success, and I 100% bought in. We kicked out a pretty big company that we were dealing with, and I was probably with this company for 5 years. It's called Run Buggy. You have the pain points of getting the cars from the auction and moving cars, but then you have another pain point where you're selling cars out of state. And these customers are expecting these cars at certain times, and you're trying to set realistic expectations. And if those aren't met, my gosh, if you have a customer's buying a car and you're trying to deliver it to their house and it doesn't come in on time, I'm sure there's a couple of our employees right now that are listening to the podcast. They're the ones that feel those pain points too, because they're dealing with those customers. It just came perfect timing. Customer gets an unrealistic expectation from Run Buggy, can't get the car delivered. Auto Hauler Exchange steps up to the plate, and it's just been nothing but success with them. And it's nice too, because you're keeping the customer informed the whole way through. And we're in a day and age where someone orders something off Amazon, they're getting same day delivery. People expect that same type of treatment whether they're buying a car or buying something off Amazon. So it's been I would say successful journey with Auto Hauler Exchange, and I feel like it was early on in the process. I joined in with them. It's the network's growing, it's only getting more efficient and better for us dealers. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terry. Hey, Frank, can you? Frank was almost with us. All right, you're up on deck for Frank. Frank will be right back. He had to run. He had to go and do something. I'm just kidding. Okay, so you touched a lot of points there, and what I was going to say is this, and then I'm going to hand it to you, Dana. Is that we've talked about how sometimes you're losing time because a broker, in the interest of business, is playing with the price. And we don't know if that's always happening, but I'm going to hand it to you, Dana. What do you have to say?
All about price? It's not all about price all the time. Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry. I mean, Terry's
one of the factors. What we don't know. We can't. We're only speculating on the factors. Other than, Terry did say delivering to a customer, that's a tall order.
Big time.
I don't know. Right? Is that? Help me out. Did that go smoothly because you were able to communicate directly with the carrier?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're loading in a car to get to someone's address, and you're posting it, and then you're watching it get picked up. You can reach out to that company and say, because they'll give you your ETA on the load. But if you have any questions, you can reach out to them, or on the better side of things, Auto Hauler Exchange is reaching out for you. So when that's getting picked up and they see this as a residential load, they're trying to get answers while you're trying to get answers. So everyone's working together as a group. So, like I said, everyone wants realistic expectations. Everyone's holding themselves to a high standard at the dealer level, at the exchange level. And you're not worried about someone just trying to switch loads on you, try to change the price and move things around to benefit the broker. Really, it's the benefit of the consumer, which is two sides, right? You got the consumer or the customer as a consumer, and you also have the dealer that's on that same aspect. So we're expecting those same exact results. So everyone working together as a team is really what sets those expectations and drives success.
Frank, you can see me.
I can see you. I can hear you.
How you doing? Hey.
It's always the most stressful part of my entire time is just stuff to work.
Working with me. I'm sorry.
I feel like I did everything right. I don't know.
Well, all right. You're here. Listen, you work with Terry, right?
I work with Terry quite often. He was one of our original folks utilizing the Auto Hauler Exchange. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, tell me more about that. I mean, that we hear that relationships drive business. Tell me more about your relationship with Terry.
Should we tell him about our history, Terry? I mean, so actually, I ran into Terry at a local jewelry store, and I was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And he's like, I'm running, I use cars, and I run a store." And I was like, "Oh, I just got into vehicle logistics." And little did he know, way back in the day, Terry and I met. I actually talked to his school when he was probably in like 8th grade. Terry, was it 8th grade?
I was a freshman, so I was what, 14 or 15 years old, 9th grade.
Yeah, and we had just won the Super Bowl, and I was with Green Bay, and I went and talked to the school about how to stay straight and stay out of trouble and stay away from drugs. And Terry was one of those kids in the gym. And then I'm at the jewelry store, and he's like, "Wait, I know you." And then we started chatting, and I'm like, "Hey, I have this new way of moving vehicles." He's like, "Dude, I get approached by people like you all the time." I was like, "But this one, give it a try. It really is different. It really is a marketplace." And yeah, he gave it a try, and it's been over 2 years now, and yeah, it's been great. And then word is spread, and throughout most of the Suburban dealerships now within the Metro Detroit area, and Lithia stores all around the country now are utilizing Auto Hauler Exchange.
That reminds me, Terry, you were telling me a little bit about your shop, that you have some custom. Tell me more about, right, what kind of vehicles you move and sell at the Suburban Collection.
So my store is specifically a Ford dealer. So obviously a lot of Ford product. But when it comes to the used car side of things, you got to be creative, right? You can't just sell new Fords, have used Fords. I mean, that's for me, I always try to think outside the box. What kind of different units can I get in here? So I will shop all over the country. I'll ship cars from Texas to Carolinas from New York. Really, I kind of put a parameter on what I'm looking for. I take a look at market day supply, take a look at like-mind supply, and what fits my marketing strategy and how to turn these vehicles super quick is really what I kind of drill down on a day-to-day basis. And the most important thing is getting these things online, right? So, consumers have all the necessary information at their fingertips, right? So you got price, you got Carfax, you got miles, videos, photos. Without the car, you don't have much. You have a VDP of a vehicle that's showing a price, VIN number, miles. If you don't have photos and you don't have a video, good luck in today's market. I like to compare this analogy to people selling real estate, right? So real estate is continue on an upward trend, just like cars have been. But if you're going to list your house for sale and ask the most money possible, right? You'd want to probably put photos and a video of your house up there. Without that, you're just going to get clicked over. I think about it the same way with cars. The quicker you can get that car online with photos and video, that's the way you're going to be able to turn your car with the most profit in it. I look at a used car like a banana, right? You buy a set of bananas at the grocery store, they're green, right? They're not that desirable, but they are going to be ripe very, very quick. The longer that banana sits on your counter, the more less desirable it becomes. It turns brown, it starts gross, and you end up throwing them away, right? So when I get a car, I'm not pricing it the lowest I possibly can on day one. I'm pricing it to earn as much gross profit as I possibly can. And if I'm not ahead of the game and putting that video and those photos up, you're already setting yourself behind. So again, if you're going to start with a marketing strategy with, hey, get a low market day supply vehicle, meaning you're going to sell it pretty quick. You got to get it quick too, right? And you got to be able to get that car ready and on the market as soon as possible. And partnering with Auto Hauler Exchange has really helped bridge that gap and those pain points that us dealers have had. I buy probably north of 60% of my inventory comes from auction. My time to market, meaning the time for that vehicle to get through my detail department, photos and video, less than 2 days.
It's a good point here, and I'm going to admit Tony into our conversation while he's coming in. That's why it's so strange that the more you learn about the process of the auction, shipping, dealer, recon, etc., that there's somebody in the middle messing with the price, monkeying with time, and the whole thing, aging that banana just to get another $50. That's crazy.
Yep.
Hey, Tony, can you hear me okay? I know that Tony was standing by. Tony is assistant manager at Ed Martin Toyota, and he's joining now. He's getting his camera all set, like I instructed him to do, right? Get ready, like Frank did, getting all ready. Okay. It's the end of the show. I get punchy. I'm excited because, we've been here for a few minutes. I've done the news, and we talked about... Hey, Frank, are you going to be at NADA?
I will be at NADA. Yes.
So, will y'all do me some favor? Will you get some great photos of that food truck and people and Bye Broker and all that stuff?
Of course. Are you not going to NADA?
I'm not going to be there. I tell you, there's nothing there for me. It's such a giant Super Bowl of dealers that, maybe later. Yeah. That's how I'll know that I've arrived.
When you got a booth.
When I go to NADA, and I got like a crew and trucks.
Well, you might want to put out if you're trying to get in there in a couple of years, because it'll take a few years.
Right, that's what I've heard. My gosh.
Yeah.
Major waiting line. All right, now, Tony, I'm going to ask Tony to start his video. Tony is ready to go. And now Tony works with George. George couldn't be here. Tony, can you see me and hear me okay?
I can see you and hear you, yes. Yep.
Wonderful. We see you, we hear you. Tony, please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Hello. I have been doing the inventory at Toyota dealerships for about 2 decades in Indianapolis. Here at this store, 18 years. I run all the new car inventory. I do all the dealer trades. I order all of them. When I'm buying used cars, I call George, obviously. I manage a lot of things. I do all the logistics, all the home deliveries, all of any kind of movement of any car within our other 13 stores also. It goes on for days. I think we all do 100 jobs. So.
Right. So you don't have time to micromanage something for days. You just need stuff to work, right?
Right.
Tell me a little bit more about how Auto Hauler Exchange fulfills that for
George is really easy to work with. I don't have to try really hard. He makes it easy. I can text him, I can call him. I notice a lot of pushback from a lot of brokers in the past where they're difficult to spend money with. They're not real. They give you a line of excuses. George really delivers, and he really, does what he says he's going to do, which is very hard in this world in general, to get somewhere with getting stuff done. And I don't have time to babysit a broker. So George is just my best option, and he's easy to work with. He's just really great.
Talk about time. Would you? Yeah, time.
Time. I don't have any time. So, literally the days go so fast. He is very fast about getting things done, even in the crazy markets, like when the snowbirds are trying to move all their cars. He doesn't give it any excuses. He gets it done. Their cars aren't sitting places for weeks on end. Like, he gets it done. I just noticed a lot of different things with a lot of other companies where they're just slow, the prices are high, there's just always something, and he doesn't do any of that. So
do you feel like the pay is going to the carrier, and that's why things are moving faster and smoother?
I think like she said, I don't think I was watching the video on LinkedIn before we got here. So I think that I don't think it's always about price. I think sometimes it's about convenience for some of the drivers picking up where they are and what they are. I don't always believe that it's always about price. I think some of it is some of the drivers could be lazy. Maybe some of the brokers a teeny, but George is not like that. We don't have that problem with him. He's excellent.
Dana, what would you add?
Yeah, I like to add like to the vision of Auto Hauler Exchange too, right? We want to fill up the carrier's trucks, right? So like when he talked about like lanes or, you know, maybe it's convenience too. Yeah, that obviously it's availability. It's, you know, what's in that market or whatever it is too. I would just add to that, like, yeah, 100%. Money just isn't always everything. It's like, you know, where the vehicles are, you know, what the lane is. So there's a couple pieces to there, but it's like when you talk about like drivers being lazy and stuff too, I think I feel like shippers, carriers, drivers, like everything, it's like it kind of like at the whole of the market, right? Everyone's kind of like blaming somebody else for whatever it is too. And I think a lot of times what it is like, yeah, hey, listen, just as like I think like I think all brokers are bad. No, I think there's some good brokers out there too, right? Like he's saying it's hard to get a hold of them too. I think that's kind of the same with drivers. It's a little bit of like kind of the pick of what you have. Sometimes like in that area, whatever it is too. But I also think too is like drivers are always like undermined, right? Like it's like the stigmatism with the drivers is like, oh, like they're this or they're that or whatever it is too. And I think it has to go with like this whole piece of like the non-communication, the not having information up front too. Like obviously, you know, you, Tony, and like Terry as well too, like you guys are good shippers, right? You give appropriate information. Like you guys have no time. Like the more I learn about the dealership industry, I'm like, you guys are, it's unbelievable what you guys have on your plate and what you're working with and, you know, how many tasks that you have to do as well too. But there's bad shippers out there too, where there's like, I don't know, here's the phone number, here's the hours, like maybe it's the hours, maybe it's the phone numbers. It's like bad information. And so when it's like the whole part of the industry is what we're trying to do is change it, right? Like we want shippers to have good information. We want carriers to have good information so that everybody can just go on their way because everyone is busy. So I guess that's a long-winded way of saying like I agree with Tony, but also too I think it's a bit of like this industry standards and like how people think, and it's like well we want people to change it, and like people like Tony and people like Terry are changing an industry by having the right information, you know, giving it to the drivers and just communicating properly, and they just want communication, right? Tony and Terry are like, here's my vehicles, here's the information, just get it picked up and get it delivered, right?
I think it just goes like within just. If I'm not doing a dealer trade, I'm changing a car in allocation. If I'm not doing that, I'm ordering a car. People, of course, with Toyotas, I'm the biggest Toyota store in Indiana and Indianapolis both. So we sell about 300 cars a month, and we're in the expensive area. So a lot of high-end used cars too. You know, we have to acquire about 95% of our Toyotas because people just don't get rid of them. The wife gets it new, then gives it to the husband, then they give it to the kid, then they give it to another kid, and then you just never see it again, and they can't part with it, and so they just keep it forever. So I'd say that I'd say at least about, that might be a little high, maybe 93% come from other sources because people just don't get rid of them. It's crazy.
Wow.
Right, vehicle acquisition continues to be a big topic, and probably will be. Right at NADA, how many workshops at NADA will be about vehicle acquisition strategies? Right.
There's always a few at every conference.
Yeah. So acquiring new vehicles, acquiring used vehicles, dealer trades. What other kinds of moves, and how do you manage that? How many moves a day might you have to manage?
I mean, it it varies really. Like honestly, I do dealer trades from coast to coast. I have relationships all the way from Maine to Los Angeles to Vancouver to Montana to the middle of nowhere. I mean, every state. I can't see the Southeast region that's owned by a company. So that's like more like a company owns that. We're corporate Toyota. So it varies. I mean, I used to do probably like 10 to 15 ground trades a month, just new cars alone. And so with used cars, you really just need to have a streamlined process. And I really believe that Auto Haulers exchanges that process to make it seamless. It's smooth. There's no surprises. You get what he says you're going to get when you're going to get it. I love the little Amazon like time frame of when you're buying it. You have a little process of when you know you're going to get it. I didn't ever have any surprises with George or Auto Haulers Express ever. So, but as far as like exchanges, I mean, I don't know. It just varies per day. But really, it's new every day. Who knows?
I'm going to ask this. What I wonder is, do you have to make a phone call every time you need to move? Or are you able to, do you have to enter it? Or are you able to drag a file? I mean, what is this like?
Oh, I mean, as far as Auto Haulers Exchange, I mean, I'd say I do a lot of calling and texting, but probably more texts and emails. I know I'm not the only customer. So, I try to do what's easy for him too. But yeah, I'd say 90% of the dealers for dealer trades, I do text, but yeah, I mean, there's a few old fashioned guys that don't give out their cell phones. They want to talk on a landline, but he's real easy to deal with. So yeah, I never have any problems.
And so Frank, George, team members, you're getting that information into the exchange. So now it's in front of carriers. Yeah. Is that right? That's right now it's just a facilitation of the information onto the exchange, which is now in front of carriers, and now you're working directly with carriers. Yeah. Is that right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the dealers can focus on other things. What you hear from Terry right now, what you hear from Tony right now, right, is they need that speed to lot, right? That's a big cost of like what it is to the dealer, right? I love like Terry's example of that's funny because I feel like I see that like on Zillow or like even when I look for a car myself too, it's like I want to see the pictures, I want to see the videos, and like so they need that cars, right? So you got to focus on that. What's the cost to it? So it's like that speed to lot, and like that's what Auto Hauler can provide, right? So we allow faster transactions. It's like full transparency. Like they post it, they get it in front of the carrier sees it. There's no negotiations in the middle there too. We're not holding out on costs or rates or something too, right? Terry says at this rate, Tony says at this rate, that we do allow like bidding, right? If there was a vehicle sitting on, the board for more than a day or something, and maybe there's a bid that comes in and Tony's going to see it, right? And Tony's going to be like, yeah, I'll pay another $25 to get it here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. And as a dispatcher,
customer experience, right?
So I was going to say, as a dispatcher, because Sue and I talk about Instabook. Could we put Auto Hauler Exchange into the Instabook category where this is done online?
Yeah.
I don't need to call and then call somebody else. I used to call because I couldn't book. I couldn't do anything online. I have to call. And I call and I want the driver's like, I need another $50 to pick it up.
Yeah.
So I call and then I get through and we talk and we haggle and whatever else we did. And then they say, let me call you back. I got to call the customer. I got to go get something to eat, and then I got to go fishing, and somebody might call, and I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect segue for Terry. Terry, how do you do it? What do you do?
All right, so it's very simple. I think this is another thing that I love about Auto Hauler Exchange. And I'm going to touch on the front end of how I do things and on the back end and the same point. If I buy a lot of cars out of Pennsylvania, right? So Pennsylvania's got one of the largest auto auctions in the country. They'll run thousands of cars a week through that auction. So on any given sale, I could buy 8 to 10 cars, right? I could check out with Manheim as soon as the sale is over. I'll get my bill of sale. I'll get my pickup slips instantaneously. I open up a auto hauler exchange. If I'm moving 8 cars, I load up 8 cars, VINs, the stock numbers I'm going to have, and I can click and drag those those gate passes right into the exchange. And I can tell you, I can load 8 cars in the exchange, have the gate passes in there in minutes. It's brainless. My 3-year-old niece can do it. So, as a publicly traded company, this is where things can get tricky dealing with brokers or going right to ready logistics and trying to do things yourself or central dispatch. When those carriers show up with those vehicles to deliver them, right? You're having a reputable person that's insured. The cars are coming in, you check them out, but they're not staying there waiting to get a paycheck from you. If I had to do that myself, Lithia is a publicly traded company who we work for. They would have me set them up as a vendor, get a vendor ID, upload their invoice, get it paid through an AI system, and that was the most stressful part of my job, was not only getting the cars, making sure the brokers are getting them on time, getting the ETA. Now they're showing up. Do I have this person set up as a vendor where I can cut them a check? If I can't cut them a check, can I get them a PO? If they're not set up, if they're missing one thing on their W-9, it's eliminated. Auto Hauler Exchange will send you the invoice. You pay them. They take care of it. You move on. It is just a seamless transaction. So you're talking 1 or 2 clicks on the VDP that Auto Hauler Exchange will give you, and then the cars are showing up, the invoices come, and your team takes care of it, and you can just keep moving on. And that's probably the most beneficial part, on top of just time to market getting these cars here, is the carriers are getting taken care of, the cars are getting there, and to get those cars loaded, seamless.
A carrier might say at this point, I love it, except for I didn't leave with the money. But Dana, how does the carrier get paid through Auto Hauler Exchange?
So we pay them ACH. We have a standard 30-day payment, right? Or you can have a quick pay option.
And on the quick pay, because then this comes, what's the fee on the quick pay?
There's a standardized 5% fee on the quick pay, because obviously we can't just putting out all the money, right? Or else we would have no money.
And nobody does. Nobody does 30 days 0%.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing. And I feel like I've seen as high as 10, that's quite a bit. But, I mean, it makes sense. And with electronic payment methods, and if you have a business running and you're moving more than 1 car a month, you should be okay.
Yeah.
Right. But we know that, there's gas and all this. And that's where there's so many moving parts that when one person sits in the middle of the transaction with the gate as they want it.
Yeah.
Why? Please stop.
I mean, just like Terry said, right? He uploads VINs in a few minutes. It's posted, it gets checked out, it gets booked. He sees it too. That's the other thing too, right? I mean, you guys see it, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys get 100 emails a day too, but at least it's like one thing off the board, right? You see that it's been checked out. You see that there's a driver sign. You have all the information. There's a dashboard for them to go to as well too. And what we want all the time too is like we always want like Terry's feedback. We tap him all the time. Like, what do you think? Like what's new? Like, what do you want us to add or whatever too? And same with Tony too. Like, what do you need? What do you need to see more? What can we add or what can we improve too? Like, we really want to work with the shippers to improve this for them and for carrier experience as well too.
I mean, honestly, it's really not him. It's really getting the gate passes that slows me down a lot. I mean, if I buy it from Toyota or Lexus Financial Services, is the same bank, I get them the same day. But if I buy them through my normal source, it's like a person that does it like by hand. I'm like, where am I, in the Amish? This is 2024. And so I have to wait till like the next day or the next day. And I'm like, what is this? So really, it's not him. He's fast. It's really the gate passes, and then I'll assign it a stock number, a P number, and move on, and it's done. And I just email him all the stuff, where the location of it is, and he gets it, and it's not any big deal,
Yeah.
And again, all the moving parts. This is where it's almost like whack-a-mole software. Like, wait, what? You're the squeaky wheel. You and the handwritten gate pass and knitting a sweater in between.
I am old-fashioned with my papers, unfortunately. I do like my papers.
I get it. Me too. I'm writing all the time. These are just my notes from tonight. But we're in a software world now, and things move at the speed of light.
Yeah.
I feel like we've covered a lot. How about this? Final thoughts. NADA. Are you gentlemen going to be at NADA?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, all right. So me neither. So that went well.
I got cars to sell and cars to move.
Right. And isn't that that's kind of the thing for a lot of dealers? So it's the principals and executives that go.
Yeah.
But the folks that are moving metal will continue to move metal through NADA.
Yeah, I prefer to stay in the trenches.
Yeah. Right. I understand that.
We'll come back with
all right,
acquisition notes for you, Terry.
Thank you.
Well, I think honestly, I was just looking here, and I think most of the time we're running neck and neck with new and used both about the same numbers. And I think maybe before the pandemic, it wasn't really like that. I think it was more like a lot more new. So this has always primarily been a new car store, but it's just really weird because I'm looking right here and it's like the 10th of the month and we've sold 39 new and 37 used. So they're pretty neck and neck. I mean, and we sell the most certified Toyotas in all of Indianapolis. So like we'll sell like 50 or 60 used certified Toyotas a month. It's an extreme heavy market of Toyota certifieds in this area, which, you know, it's kind of crazy, right? But we've been primarily an expensive new car store. More, you know, we're a very heavy truck dealer as far as like Siennas, Highlander hybrids, cars that are $60,000 that are new. We sell primarily more of those type of vehicles in this area, being more the North Indianapolis suburban area. Than, you know, the cheaper Toyota cars, that really isn't this area, you know.
I found that really insightful, and actually I love as we're wrapping up 2024, thinking that we read it, we're seeing used car prices are normalizing, that things are getting back to more of the way we're used to, right? That's nice to see that used is actually a thing again, right?
Well, I don't think there was any to get for a long time.
Right.
You know?
No, there wasn't.
I mean,
well, you even said it, right?
I mean,
that
even
Toyota
before
goes
that,
to the grandchildren. Yeah,
I mean,
even before that.
What's crazy is before the pandemic, like even in 2019, I was bidding multiple bids against other dealers on Toyota and Lexus Financial Services. You'd see like 22 bids on one car. I mean, and this was before the pandemic. So, I mean, and then it only got worse. You know, of course, there wasn't any to get. People were buying their leases out that they already had because, you know, I actually still have new car COVID inventory now. I have no more new cars now than I did in 2019. I had 650 new Toyotas here then, and I had about 1,000 new Toyotas in inventory total before then. I'm looking at my screen and it says 282. I mean, I don't have any more new. I might have more here, but I don't have any more than I did in 2020. I have the same amount or less. So as far as new cars, and then as like I said, as far as used, I have to go and buy 90-something% of them. So, you know, it's always a constant. You're looking for something. You don't have, you know, oh, I need gray seats instead or whatever, you know. So,
you know, I was just going to ask, when's the last time you said chip shortage?
I mean, 4Runners haven't even been produced yet. Grand Highlanders have been backed up for 7 or 8 months. I mean, there's always something, and half of our lineup, more than half of it is new on top of it. And before that, the demand has just been psycho. I mean, it just never lets up. I mean, I still have some orders from like 20, I mean, not a ton, but I do have some from 2023, a few, not a ton, but
right, there are customers still waiting for vehicles because they went too highly customized.
There's just certain things that, I mean, you know, when I look at my list, I mean, I've got about, I I'm about 32 Grand Highlanders on my list, and I have about 21 hot Forerunners on my list, but of course they're not in production. I've got a long laundry list of TRD Pro Tacomas. I mean, it's kind of crazy, some of this stuff. I mean, some of that stuff is not that, it's just Toyota. You can never have enough. Longo Toyota, the biggest Toyota store, you can have a parking garage full of cars and you still don't have the right one. That's just the way it is. So
that's pretty interesting. Wow. That's fascinating. I appreciate your time tonight. It's 8:15. It's 9:15 Eastern. I don't want to take any more of it, but I found that really fascinating. Thank you, Tony, for sharing that information. Is there anything anybody wanted to say before we go?
I'm good.
Get some food at NADA. See the food truck. What's the day on that again? Are you there?
Friday, January 24th.
Friday, January 20th, right in the middle of NADA. What, right outside?
Yep.
Wow, that's going to be cool. All right, so Frank's going to take some photos. Save me a po' boy. All right? Yeah. Done. Tony, Terry, Frank, and Dana, thank you so much for taking the time, helping me make another great show here on a Tuesday night. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
It was fun meeting y'all.
Good night.
Thanks so much.
Always. Yep.
All right. And that's a cut. There it is. Okay. I also want to thank the live chat. I didn't get to any live chats here. And I saw some good ones. I'm just going to back this up to the top. Mark Grodicke's in here. Truckify's in here. 925. 925 always showing up. Thanks so much, 925. And Truckify, of course. And Mark Grodicke. Royce Neubauer with Auto Exchange, CEO, in the live chat. Serge the Car Hauler made it back in, talking about there are so many. Serge, there are so many stolen vehicles now. It is crazy. I don't even think it can all be covered. But thanks for bringing it up. And wow, and drivers being trafficked, I've not heard that. See if you can find me a lead, and I'll chase it. Damian Rodriguez, I'm signed up with Auto Exchange. Great. But yeah, I mean, there are always going to be areas where you're looking for more work. But I would say this, Damian, and this is cool. In Auto Exchange, I really believe, I've got this idea, I have a dream that if we can, I don't know how this happens, but if we can learn more about individual drivers with profiles, equipment photos, photo of the driver, photo of the equipment, some of the insurance docs like we're used to, but creating this like easily accessible social media profile that now the shipper begins to know that driver. And I think through that process is like, okay, let's build a lane. Because I've said this to the repossession companies too, is that many repossession companies lack the ability to build a stable of drivers moving their cars regularly. And I believe there are drivers out there that would be maybe available to do that work. It's just that they're lacking the connection. So through this social media component, it's a pie in the sky idea, and I don't know how it works out. But Damian, I'd love to learn more about you and your business and see if we can build a social media profile that's meaningful so you can actually, you're not searching for random jobs. Rather, you're connecting with folks that could use your services in their lane. And I know from talking with some brokers, and yes, there's a place for every business, that there are brokers I talked to at Used Car Week this year that I talked to at Used Car Week years ago, and they're still trying to figure out how to build a carrier program. How many years are going to go by before businesses are able to connect with the carrier to help them build their lane that they're looking for. What else we got here in the live chat? As I'm getting a phone call. Stan. Oh, Stan is in. Hey, what's going on, Stan? Stan from Super Dispatch in the live chat. And I think that pretty much wraps up the live chat. If you are unable to connect with Auto Hauler Exchange before, this is a good way to do that. Please do leave a comment. You can send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. I know it's the old email. I'll get a new one of these years. Contact Auto Hauler Exchange. Auto Hauler Exchange, please put your contact info in the live chat again. Your best email, phone number. I know you go to the website, but because I think that is another thing, is that some carriers feel like they can't get in touch with the person they want to get to, or they can't get through the sign-up process, and that's another area where I think that we all really want to help make sure that there's a lot of good transporters and there's a lot of good shippers, and that they stay connected so they keep on servicing each other. Everybody's doing business, making the money they need, and serving the customer. That's really what it's all about. So thank you, Auto Hauler Exchange. I want to thank Superflow Systems, ClearPath TMS, and Draver. Thank you for jumping in the live chat tonight. If you watch on demand, thank you so much for doing so. Whether you're live or on demand, please do leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, follow ATI on YouTube and LinkedIn. Thanks for watching, and we've got another great show lined up Thursday. Brian Riker is going to be with us on industry logistics. We're looking forward to that. And then next Tuesday night, we got another great follow-up to lenders moving repo cars. Conversation we had at Used Car Week. Now it's transporting recovered vehicles. So we're continuing the conversation. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Here comes the car hauler. Stay safe. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.